Brian, it's the new look Rod Zawacki. It's the clean cut version. I don't know if we like it or not. Figure it out over time. But today, Game 4 of the NBA Finals. Of course, I've done the last 2 days solo. I've enjoyed hanging out with you guys. Some of the longest shows we've had in quite some time. And it's awesome, all the questions and everything. And today, we're going to continue along that same theme. I don't know if these guys watch the shows or not, so we'll find out.
But a total break.
We've only got one game today, so we'll go over the one game, and then we'll continue along the theme of yesterday. And I will be the host, and I will be asking these guys the questions and that I know you guys want to hear the answers to. And they're totally unprepared. They have no idea that we're doing this. So we're going to get honest, raw answers just like I gave you guys for the last 2 days. It'll be fun. Anyways, Brian, how's your days off? How's a couple days off for you?
Well, I tried to fit as much into those days off as I could. I got all my different errands done. I got brand new glasses. I've got different projects I was working on. So it might have been days off, but I tried to do things I normally can't do. So.
How about you, Rod? What did you do for the days off? Anything special?
Well, you can see I did a little bit behind me, clean shaven, just enjoyed the time off. Took a nice step away from everything, and I did watch the All-Star game.
I didn't watch the All-Star game. I turned off all sports.
I watched the Home Run Derby. I didn't watch all of the All-Star game. I watched it. Glad he hit a big, crushed it.
Not an All-Star game guy myself, so we tried to talk it on the show. We flipped the lucky penny and nailed the American League on that one, on the lucky penny yesterday. So that was pretty much the extent of it. For the Home Run Derby, we just said anyone but Ohtani and pretty much went for the big payouts there. So that's what you missed. And then just a lot of questions from the audience. Went about an hour and a half each day just talking sports betting, and these guys just asking whatever questions they felt like asking. So I'm going to kind of lead the way with the questions today, and then, of course, you guys are free to ask whatever you like. We talked, so just to give these guys a tiny bit of a head start while we're talking NBA, and they can really mess up their heads. We talked sports betting. We talked sports betting strategy. We talked about what to look for going forward in the second half of the season. I got a lighting issue, so I'm going to run for a second. We'll let these guys think about it, and I'll be right back, actually. So why don't you say something, Rod or Brian? You guys take over for a minute, and I'll be right back.
No, I did get a chance to look into some NFL win totals that I kind of like. I think the number one that I circled was the Chiefs under 12.5 wins. I just think that number is about one win. I think it's padded total to begin with because everybody's going to want to jump on the Kansas City Chiefs over the 12.5 wins. So I like them to go under 12.5. I think there's some team issues there too.
Yeah, one thing we know, no one gives a shit about football way too early, so no one cares.
We're not.
No, the idea is that you kind of just talk. You know, the idea is, well, don't worry, we're going to squeeze it out of you. We got plenty of time here. So, anyways, it is Game 4 of the NBA Finals. It's been pretty much square fest so far. The public winning all three of the first 3 games. And they're, of course, all over the Milwaukee Bucks again here after Game 3. Devin Booker's 10 points, 1 for 7 from beyond the arc, 3 of 14 shooting. Scott Foster, I mean, a joke. Ayton showing that he is the better player than Giannis, but not getting a chance to really do that. But so we go to Game 4 today, and once again the square's all over the Bucks. I don't know, Brian. You with the square patties again, or
in this current game, I would say so, but I don't think it was as crazy.
It's worse. It was worse.
It was
worse.
I mean, I have a few connections that were on the Phoenix Suns, and they're about as square guys as
I saw plenty of guys that you consider sharp on. Plenty of guys that you consider squares on the Bucks.
Well, today's a new day. The Bucks manhandled them and kicked their butts.
Well, I mean, there's
Today's a new day, though.
Exactly. It was not as definitive, though, despite the final score. Not as definitive as the first two games, because the Suns were able to reel them in, even though the Bucks ended up extending back out on them. But they were able to reel them in, while the Bucks were unable to reel the Suns in once they got to either of the first two games. But anyways, what do you got here, Brian?
Yeah, for me, I'm going to go under the 220.5, 220. Barely got the under in Game 3. But I think this game is the first team to 105 wins that I think you're going to see. Turned up defense for the Phoenix Suns, who got embarrassed, and the Bucks are going to also turn it up a notch because they must have this Game 4. So I like the under 220, 220.5.
I'm on the other side of that, Rod.
And I'm with you. I like the under as well. The Bucks 6-2-2. Their last 10 is a favorite to the under. They're also 7-3-1. Their last 11 at home to the under. And then you look at the Suns. They're 5-1-2 to the under. Their last 8 as a playoff dog. They're also 4-1 to the under. Off a straight up loss and ATS loss. Both 4-1 to the under. So I think I know in some spots some people got to push in Game 3. If you got a little better number, you got the under. And I think we get the under again. I think both teams come out and play some a little more defense. I think it's going to be pretty much around the same number, about 220, but I think it goes under, and we're going to be like 219, 218. Just sneaks under.
I think it goes way over. Devin Booker in Game 3 scored 10 points. And in Game 1, 31 points. Game 2, 27 points. Game 3, 10 points. And it wasn't like the rest of the supporting cast numbers dropped off or picked up in sync. The only one whose numbers actually picked up were Crowder. And it wasn't enough of a differential to offset how much less Booker scored. So if Booker tunes it up and scores even in the middle of where he scored in these games, it's going way over. I mean, that is the differential. That was the differential in the game score. 20 points was the differential in the game. That was the differential in Booker's average in the series. And that was also the differential, in the total. You add 10, 20 points to what they've been at, it's going over for sure. Anyways, totally opposite opinions, but I got the Phoenix Suns. You guys know that. You saw the video. Changed up my video style. That's what I did during the break. Worked on the video style, working on the studio. Still not done. But anyways, so what we did over the last 2 days was the audience. We did a Q&A, and basically they asked me just a ton of questions about sports betting and sports betting strategy. And, they asked me strategy and questions, and they asked me about your guys' stuff. And you guys weren't here to answer it, so I couldn't answer it for them. But I'm going to ask Brian point blank, how can you trust data that you don't know the source? I mean, this is the number one question.
Well, it's not I don't just bet a game to determine on the data on that page. It's just one of.
But that's what we hear.
I mean, when it tells me that.
What is it telling? What is the data that's telling you
right
this?
now? Almost 15,000.
What's the data?
81% are betting the over. I believe that good majority.
Where does that data come from?
Well, you don't believe that the good majority of people are betting the over today? It's just common sense.
No, it's not common sense.
Right.
It's not when numbers are telling me this specifically. Not when numbers are telling me this specifically, and we don't know where the data is coming from. Okay? 15,000 people from what? 15,000 people from Zimbabwe? 15,000 people from under the doormat? 15,000 third graders? Where is this money? Where is this coming from? What makes this relevant? How do we know?
Well, it's just one of the things that I look at. There's many.
But how incorrect has it been? How bad has that data been this year? Would you say?
Well, I mean, it had the Bucks as the
right, and so one out of 3 is 30%.
So you only agree with it when it matches up with what you're thinking.
No. I don't agree with it at all. I've cast it off 100%. I don't even look at it anymore because I don't know where it's coming from, and it seems to me that it will hit once in a while, but so will flipping a penny or throwing a dart. It's no different. It doesn't hit any more or any less than flipping a coin, throwing a dart, or just randomly picking out ripping up this piece of paper, drawing names on it, throwing it into a hat, and pulling it out. It doesn't hit any better than that, those percentages. I'm willing to do it. I think the rest of the season.
At Jiffy Lube, it's our job to keep you moving. With a full range of services from oil changes and tire rotations.
It's hitting a commercial on me. But what we'll do is the rest of the season, okay? The rest of the season, we'll go those betting percentages, okay? And we'll go versus a random pick, okay? Of just either names out of a hat, a flip of a coin, or whatever. I'll bet you $1,000 on the penny versus that data.
Well,
no. Let's either yes or no. You're standing by the data.
Over the last 26
I'll bet you
NBA playoff
$1,000 right in front of everybody. No. I'll bet you $1,000, and I won't even go by my picks or anything like that. We'll only go by the randomness of the penny versus what that data says. I'll bet you $1,000 the penny beats it, straight up.
Well, it just happens to be whatever the penny lands on. It has nothing to do with it.
It's exactly what I'm saying. Is that data
but
is less
if you're talking
reliable
about my
than
NBA picks, I've hit 18 of 26. I mean, so that's close to 70%. I don't know.
Well, where's it coming from?
What exactly looking?
All right, then it should be no problem. Let's do 1,000. Let's do 10.
Me versus the penny. Maybe I might.
No.
What's
that
your
methodology,
point?
using that exact data,
I would have bet $1,000 versus a penny flip.
Yeah, see? Then it's either you believe it or you don't, you know? There's no middle ground. I'll give you time to think about it, but I'll put 1,000 to 10,000 versus that. I'll put anything. I'll any kind of random thing you want to do. Magic 8 Ball versus that. I'll do any kind of random draw versus that for 10,000 or whatever number below you want to do. Anything. Any kind of random thing you could think of. We could spin a wheel. We could do a dice roll, odd or even. We could do anything you like. I'll do it against that, and I bet you I beat it. That's how good that data is. I've been watching the data, and I could see just how bad it is. And I wouldn't just be saying it if it was good. It's good, but it's like it's not. It's not even close. It's just I think it's made up.
Because I think it was wrong in Game 3. Because I think
it's been wrong all year.
I
think it's been wrong all year. It was wrong in college basketball. It's been wrong all first half of the baseball season, and it was wrong before that. It's been wrong all year. It's been wrong all year. It's right occasionally, and it's right in bunches occasionally, but so is flipping a penny. I think you got to do basic handicapping. That's just me. So we'll come back to it.
Well, that's not I mean, like I said, I take a look at that. I mean, I'm allowed to look at something if I want to look at it.
Oh, look at it all you want, but I don't. But
it doesn't mean that
I'm just saying. I'm just asking you how reliable it is, and the answer is I'm just asking how it can be reliable. Was my question, and your answer is that you don't think it's any more reliable than a penny or throwing a dart. That's your answer. Okay, and that's okay. It's fine. We just wanted to know. People ask me, I'm asking you. But you don't think it's more reliable than that. And that's okay. Because I'm willing to bet you that I'm willing to bet you $1 up to 10,000 that a penny or dart can beat that. And you won't do it. So you don't think it's more reliable than a penny or a dart. Anyways, Rod. Next.
I'm so excited. Bring it on.
I just don't understand it. You know, it's like, I mean,
I don't know what you're trying to get from it.
Because I want you to just say,
like
I have no idea where these numbers come from, so how could we possibly trust it? Or believe that it means anything?
Oh, this says this, so I'm going to bet this no matter what. That's not how. That's not what.
Seems like, but that's what you tell our viewers. But that's what you tell our viewers.
The public was supposedly on the Bucks.
No, they're not. But every other indication shows that the public's not there.
You just said that they were on the Bucks.
No, but I'm just saying. You're talking one game. I'm talking about the body of work. Because every time when you say, "Oh, the public's all humping this," but what we see on social media, is the exact opposite of what you're saying.
It doesn't take that site to tell me show me that the over is going to be heavily bet tonight, because it always is, especially in the playoffs and national TV. So
I don't know why you just can't handicap the game and figure out what it's
what
going
do
to
you-
go over or under. I mean, that's basically.
well, it's going to go. I love unders in the playoffs. I've said that how many times? I love unders because teams turn up the defense.
And that's fine.
I love
and that's all fine. It really matters who's refereeing.
The only chance it has of going to over is
The over-under is based on the referee. If they're going to call, then it's going to go over. If they're not going to call, it's going to go under. It's pretty much the way it is.
The calls would
There's
lean
certain
towards
refs
the
that let them play, just like certain umpires have bigger strike zones. Certain umpires have smaller strike zones. The tendency of those umpires is that the games go over. If it's a small strike zone, if it's a larger strike zone, the tendency is they go under. It's like,
I think the calls go in favor of the Bucks tonight.
well, they did last game, and I wouldn't be surprised. They're home, So, I'm not dead set on this Suns. I don't have any premium picks on the game. I don't even have a dog in the fight. I just put out a free pick video. That's about it. But I just don't understand how you could put so much faith in data that you don't know where it comes from, and it's proved to be wrong time and time again. It's like I don't know. To me.
Just because the public side happens to win doesn't mean that data was wrong. It just be like if they say the White Sox are getting 80% of the money and the White Sox win, that doesn't mean that data was wrong because I went on the other side and took the 20%.
But we don't know where that data comes from.
Well, the White Sox.
We don't know what to sample of. What is it a sample of? What is it a sample of?
I have no idea.
That's the issue here. To me, that's the issue. You're right. No, you're right. Sometimes it'll just say, well, the public won one, right? If you go by that strategy. But it's like, you can't just put out data and say, what is it a sample of? This is a sample. This is 10% of all William Hill bettors. This is 10% of all DraftKings bettors. This is 10% of all casinos in Vegas. This is 10% of all casinos in Reno. This is 10% of this. This is a sampling of people that we stood outside the sports book and asked them who they took and how much they bet. I mean, it's got to be a sample of something in order for it to be valid data if it's not straight statistics. No? I mean, I'm just trying to make sense of it. If you can, I'm trying to get you talk me onto it.
Hopefully, the product that you're coming out with has some kind of where it tells you where they're getting their source from. So that'll be good.
Well, that's a different story. But it's like, I'm just saying, you say, well, 78% of the public is this. But I don't believe that's the case.
I assume what it is all the books, the offshore books that are
how do you know?
Partnered with the site. I don't know.
How do you know? You think that only 6,000 bets are made with an offshore book on 2,000 or 600 or whatever? Those numbers don't jive to me either. There's nothing there because they don't tell you that this is sourced from offshore books. They don't say this is sourced from here. They don't say anything. They don't say what it's a representation of. Is it users of their app that made bets through their app, that posted their bets in their app? Because that's what it could be too. And there you have zero sharps. Okay, zero. Right? If that's what the sample is, which is what I believe it is, you have zero sharps.
Right? Where do they get this big money? in that information. It's like where they show a little money bag and they're like, big money went on here, and it's like, what? Who put big money? Farmer Bob? It's like you don't know where it came from.
No, you don't know if it's real or not.
But on the numbers, you don't know. But even you can look around at some other sites on the internet, and some of these numbers, sure, they're off by a little, but they're not like crazily off. It's not like totally. I haven't found one yet that's flipped like completely the other way. They maybe this one says that the overs got 80% of the bets on it, and then if you go look at some of the other sites around, you'll have one that says 75%, and then I see one that's even higher where it said 86%. So that's a three different.
But the general consensus of those sites would show that the overs.
So Ronnie Ryland, who says he has a sample of whatever. Email me, Mitch@pickdogs.com, and tell me what's that a sample of. That's all I want. That's all I'm asking. It's like, you could say it's a sample. If you tell me that it's a sample of all the bets that were made at Caesars today, all right. Right? That's legitimate, right? That sound good to you? William Hill? Someone says, it's all the bets from William Hill. Or it's an offshore book, right? One of the offshore guys. Tell me it's that, right? But it's like, you can't just say this.
It doesn't exactly say it. Doesn't.
This is the public action when
from.
this is the bets made, when there's not a source. From what?
Mm-hmm.
Based on what? Based on users of this particular product, which there would be zero sharps. My guess is there's zero sharps that use that product, right? Do you agree on that, Brian?
Yeah, most likely.
Most likely, right? It's definitely not a professional product. I'm just throwing it out there. And believe me, I do plenty. I get ripped out. So I'm not ripping you. I'm just trying to figure this out. You know, why you put so much faith in something that you don't know what it is?
How do you know how much faith I put in something?
Because that's all you talk about on the show. It's 100% of your analysis on the show.
I don't know about 100%, but
99.
like I said, to me,
it's all right. We'll come back. We'll come back. You could think about it. I understand. I'm not attacking you. I'm trying to understand. I'm not attacking you. That's. I mean, it might come off that way, but I'm not attacking. I'm trying to understand it. I'm trying to understand it. I'm trying to understand. That's all I'm trying to do. Is understand it. I'm. Believe me, I lose all the time, man. I'm the only internet handicapper there is that loses games. I mean, I know that. I'm the only square cap or whatever, man. I don't know, man. But we talked about my betting strategies, and I know that a lot of people don't agree with it. I understand that. Believe me, I had some guy telling me to bet the Dodgers. That if you bet the Dodgers, they win. We went over all the money. I explained to him, like, yeah, you bet the Dodgers. You're 21 games over 500, and you've lost $500 if you bet $100 a game. It's a tough way to make a living. And it still wasn't good enough. So believe me, we've been through this the last 2 days. We did all the math. We had the calculator out, right? Figured it all out. Still. So Rod, we get to you. And your trends, right? Trend guy.
Now also, I don't mean to jump on Rod, but also remember that we're finally getting fans back in the stands.
Of course.
So
no, it is. Believe me, I said that about college sports, especially last year. Basketball and football and the tournament and all of that stuff. Fans
it has nothing to do with that data. I'm just saying, as far as my picks go.
No. It's going to change things. There are buildings with fans that are very, very tough, and without fans, they're just another building, right? So, I mean, there's some tough buildings out there. We know that. It's like Florida State, the win total is like 5, right? It's like, play 6 games, 7 games in Doak Campbell, so you're probably going to win a few of those.
I think Florida State was surprising people.
Tough building.
They always get me every year, Florida State.
Florida State always has tons of talent, tons of speed. Tons. Not a team I would look past, that's for sure. So, Rod, in your trends, the day of the week trend is the one that I don't understand. Explain this one to me. The day of the week trend. It's like, I don't know. Is there something about Wednesdays?
Some people love Mondays, right? And then some people excel on a Monday, and they're like, "Yeah, it's Monday." And then you got some people who are just like, "It's Monday," and they're like, "Oh, it's Monday. Oh God, it's Monday. Oh my goodness, I hate Mondays, and it's just horrible." Right? That's what that is. It's a daytime of the week trend. And you look at some of those. Hold
on, I got to interrupt. I got to interrupt you for just a half a second here because we got the Dodger comment here, and it says. He said, Claude Martin says this, if you bet the Dodgers, you have to bet -1.5 when they win. It's usually by 2 runs. But once again, that's not what the data says. Okay, what the data says is that if you bet the Dodgers -1.5, you bet the Dodgers run line this year, they're actually only 45 and 46 on the run line this year. And once again, if you bet them every single game, you've lost another $500 in addition to the other 500 you lost betting them straight up, going 21 games over 500. So actually, Claude, not what the data shows. And I mean, like with Brian's thing, we could argue and we can go back and forth and whatever. And it's like, would I take his $1,000 when my penny whips his computer's ass? Absolutely not. Well, maybe I would just to spend it all on hookers and blow, right? Take selfies, right?
I'd be tempted to go one-on-one with the penny, just me versus the penny.
I'll put my penny. My penny's ready, man. My penny's ready, man.
Maybe we'll have to have some kind of special during the college football NFL season.
Maybe we should do the penny on TikTok. Maybe we should do the TikTok penny. The penny should be a TikTok.
I'm not subscribed. I don't know.
TikTok.
Maybe that's where the guys
TikToking,
get the penny
baby.
picks. They got to subscribe to your TikTok.
I'm TikToking. Back in the game. We're off TikTok. Now we're back on TikTok. Back in the game on TikTok. Big time TikTokers. We're actually bigger on TikTok than we are here. It's crazy to sound. Anyways. I did the pregame today, like the pre-show on TikTok. So, Rod, I could see so Mondays could be a travel day from a Sunday, right? And Thursdays could also be a travel day, right? So like Thursday, Friday could be the first game of the series. So those kind of days kind of make sense. But what about Saturday? Sunday.
In the summer, these players like to party on Friday night.
Yeah, I mean,
right? They come in and they're like, they're half cut. They've been out drinking. They're at the strip club, and they got
you think today's athletes are like Mickey Mantle and Billy Martin, just getting slaughtered, after every game at the bar?
Not every game.
I don't think they are.
You end up in a city. Oh, I think there's some that do that like to party it up.
These
you don't always hear.
These athletes seem a lot tamer than that.
Well, okay, they're a little bit tamer than what they were back in the day, but they like to party and flash money around.
How much do you put into that?
What's the percentage I put into that? Maybe 1%, 2%.
Brian, how much percent do you put into your line movement thing, your data thing?
Then you put more percentage into that.
Brian puts 25% from outer space, and Rod puts in by the day of the week, by the calendar.
But I also like
that's like 2%. 2% by the day of the calendar.
So I could see it. I could actually see it in football because Thursday night and Monday night, so you have Monday night, Thursday night games, and college football too. But I mean, college basketball they play Wednesday nights and Saturday nights. So like Saturdays. So even those, could make sense.
Well, yeah, because it's like Friday night. Some people like to party on Friday night.
So
I'm like, yeah, Friday night.
So wait a minute. So this Brandon Beers, right, says nobody is putting money on the Dodgers every game of the year. I know someone that does. Okay, so you're wrong. Okay, we all know someone that does. Us three all know a person that does.
Almost every day, I would say.
No, I would say every day. And I would say there are people that do bet the Dodgers every single day. And I think the probability of placing 20 run line bets and going 20-0 is 0. That would be like a progressive 20-team run line parlay. And I would say your probability of hitting that is about 0%. I would say that if you bet the Dodgers, your probability is that you're going to lose money if you bet the run line or if you bet them straight up. The probability is that you're going to lose money because over the long term, that is what the trend has shown statistically. It is statistically proved that. Let's look at them last year when they were World Series champions in a 60-game season. See how much money you won or lost, because that would be the year that you would make money, the 60-game season. So
I think they were the leaders in the run line last year.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, no, that's the playoffs. No, they weren't the leaders. So the Dodgers last year, 43-17. Okay, 26 games over 500. 26 games over. 17 total losses. You made $569 if you bet $100 a game. So you had to win. You basically made 30 cents a game. $30 a game is what you made. That is a tough way to make a living. You are basically 3 losses away from losing money. Winning 40 games. They go 40-20 instead of 43-17. You lose money winning 66% of your games. That is a tough way to make a living. At least I know one thing. Like, these guys don't agree with my alternate bets, or I think whatever. We're not. Believe me, they could drill me just as bad as I just drilled them. I know that, right? I mean, I know it, but I've taken it the last 2 days from you guys. So the thing is that one thing we all agree on is that having to win 60% of your games to break 66% of your games to break even or be down a little bit is a impossible way to make a living. It's impossible. You can't do it. You got to try and get yourself like we've talked betting strategy the last 2 days, and those of you that have missed it, basically the moral of the story is that you have to pick a betting strategy that it can get you profitability close to the 50% range. So whatever that is, whatever it is, we've talked about a bunch of different ways to get there, but it's like you have to be able to make money hitting around 50%. That way, if you hit that 56%, that is, where you want to be, 56, 58%, then you're way up, But it's like people are like, how much of my bankroll should I bet? How much of all of this other stuff, right? All these questions that we went over. It's like all that stuff kind of goes out the window. It all goes out the window when you're betting correctly. So that is, and that's why I never say 5%. I never say any of those things. I bet what I bet.
No, it would be neat if the website Pick Dogs added like a ROI return with the handicappers, what their average juice they laid per their pick that they were selling and stuff like that. I know it costs money.
No, we're going to have a huge tech team, so it's not going to be that big of a deal. We're going to have a 135-person tech team.
That way Mitch takes picks that are averaged at plus 120 a pick or whatever your number is.
Can you imagine what things are going to be like with a 135-person tech team compared to like
a 2-person?
Yeah, compared to like what we've done for 14 years. Can you imagine how different things are going to be? It's crazy, man.
I'm excited. We're right. We're close to football.
Spent yesterday talking to the lawyers, getting everything together.
3 weeks out on the preseason.
Excited. Tony T hit me up for the drive-thru. I have nothing to talk about with Tony. Sorry. Chris Ruffalo's doing AAC win totals. See, does that turn anyone on? Does that make you want to tune in?
I was talking to Damien, and I was telling him he should go on and give the Miami Hurricanes under the win total or Notre Dame over before you come.
I don't even know what the Miami Hurricane win total is. I know that they had 2 first-round draft choices that left the team, right? One of them didn't play.
I swore it was 9.5. Maybe that's too
No way.
No, that sounds way
maybe I was somebody else.
No way. I don't think they have Clemson, though. Let's look at the schedule. I'll tell you. We can go through the schedule and figure out exactly how many wins.
Losing to Alabama. I mean, who else is hard on their schedule?
Well, we can count that as a loss. Let's see. Right. ACC. Louisville? Oh, they did it by division. You guys have any questions for me? Brian, Rod? You guys can hammer me if you care. So Miami plays, wow, they actually have pretty tough here. So they open Alabama, App State, Michigan State, Central Connecticut, Virginia, at North Carolina, NC State, Pittsburgh, Georgia Tech, Florida State, Virginia Tech, Duke. So it's I would call this front end loaded, right?
And it is 9.5. It's sitting at 9.5.
Oh, so I was right.
Juice to the under, minus 140.
I think Florida State will be tough at Florida.
Because November 13th at Florida State. I think they lose to Alabama. They beat App State. They beat Michigan State. They beat Central Connecticut, Virginia. So they have 4 consecutive home games to start the season. I really think where you win the big money is that Michigan State game. I think that's where you go for the really big bet. What time is that game?
12 p.m.
Is it? If it's a 12 p.m. game, I'm going to say right now, bet the farm. It will be in, I'm going to say September 18th in Miami at noon. I'm going to guess the temperature is about 485 degrees and 100% humidity.
Those guys are from Michigan. So
they're going to die. And they're going to have like cool zone, everything all set up or whatever. It ain't going to help because when it gets that hot and that sticky, the heat comes from the ground. The moisture, it just goes right through you. Rod's like sweating just thinking about it.
I'm just thinking about it. I'm like, oh, man. And now I got to run? Oh, no. Oh, no.
It's too bad they can't put App State in those black uniforms. That would be something. They would do it, too. Good amount of returners here from Miami, especially along the offensive line, which was not good last year.
North Carolina should be.
But this backup quarterback, if he does play, actually is really good. He was one of the highest recruited quarterbacks this year. Yeah. Rhett Lashley's second year as offensive coordinator. I think the Canes are going to have some firepower. Lashley's got, he's got a year now under his belt. Kind of like that. 9.5 is super aggressive.
Well, I admit.
Florida State has Mackenzie Milton playing QB. He's really good. He's from UCF. He's the guy who was the quarterback 2 years ago. Remember, he broke his leg right before the end of the season. Missed all last year. He was the guy. Remember, UCF 2 years ago was unbeatable. He was the guy. Transferred to Florida State. I was hoping he was going to transfer to Miami. Charlie Brewer went to Utah. Let's see who else transferred. Eric Gray. Oklahoma. There's some big names here. Big name transfers. All right, we'll talk plenty college football coming up in a couple weeks. See if our audience has any betting questions. Rod with the new backdrop. He's got a shelving unit there. He's got his Pick Dogs framed over there, kind of like I do. And Sports Chat as well. Nice.
Yep. The other shelf that was there was just awful. It was just it was just brutal. I was like, oh my God, this is awful. This shelf is just brutal. I need a different shelf.
So you guys, what segment over the last 2 days, what questions could people have asked me that I enjoyed the most during our Q&A the last 2 days? Because I'll tell you guys what it was. What type of question could someone ask me that I would really enjoy answering?
Probably something about your home.
No, they asked me about other sites. It was great. I really had a good time. I was super disciplined about it. You guys would have really took everything I had. And then someone asked me what I thought of Sports Chat Plays. They were just naming how about Sports Chat Plays?
Got one baseball tomorrow.
You guys are asking me to be on their podcast. I get asked to be a guest on a lot of things. Michael, the game is going to stay way under. It's not about Booker or the Suns scoring. It's going to be a slow pace. I'll be live at halftime. Hey, what'd you guys think of the new videos that I did? This is what I did during my time off. So what'd you think of the new style? You notice got a lot of moving graphics.
Getting better and better.
I think so. I think that was the best one I ever did.
They look good.
Spent a lot of time on it. Not really. I learned something. I spent a lot of time learning, and doing the video didn't take me that long. I'd spent so much time learning. Looking forward to new and improved Pick Dog's website. Yeah, me too. The Pick Dog and the Sports Chat one is really going to be good too. Sports Chat's going to, I think, be better. Pick Dogs is going to be more geared towards the underdog. It's still better than what anybody else has. Super exciting stuff. I want to place $300 on the Sun. Should I have a bet right now at 4.5, or do you think that will change? I actually think it's going to go to 5, right?
No.
Yeah, it's 5 or higher.
I think 4.5 is the peak. But
could be wrong. I think it's going to go higher. Almost everyone. No, there's no premium show. I'll give you my pick as the Suns. There's no picks to give.
I have my golden ticket for sale on NBA.
Brian has his golden ticket. He wouldn't give it out anyway.
Rod has.
Rod, you selling picks today?
Yeah, I've got my 10-star NBA Game of the Week. Want to pick it up.
I'm going to try to build my record off the 18-8 NBA playoff run. Try to get to 19. See how it goes tonight. I like the game.
Anyways. Anything else you guys want to say? Brian, take me up on my penny flip.
No.
For the
what are
record,
we going to do our Christmas and July specials? Is that,
there's no games, so I got nothing for sale.
Well, not today. I'll just in the future.
Yeah, we're going to do it.
We're running out.
Dana Lane came to visit me.
Oh, yeah. How'd that go?
It was awesome. It was great. I was here for about 3 hours, hung out.
Wow.
Yeah, it was good.
That's good.
Yep.
That was the best time to visit you since there isn't much going on.
Yeah, there was nothing going on. It was actually it was Sunday, so like all the baseball games were on and stuff. Had all the TVs. Didn't really. I mean, he's here with his family. Vacation. He renewed his vows with his wife. Pretty exciting stuff. Wow. Everyone was more fired up the last 2 days when I was by myself. We had a lot more people watching. I'll tell you that much.
I guess we're bringing down the...
Maybe we should ship you guys off to your own show.
Oh.
Brian and Rod. Broad.
No, we need Ruflo.
Yeah, you could have Ruflo. Why don't you guys try it? You guys want to try it? I'll do my own show.
Yeah.
Betting Badass, and you guys could do your own. I think it'd be good for you. Step out of the spot. Step into the spotlight more.
I like the Ruflo and Rod.
I like that idea.
R&R.
Yeah, I like it.
Get
I
some
like it too.
R&R.
I think all three of you guys. Let's have my own show, like the drive-through. I'll just have guests pop in. Betting badass. I like that. Anything else? Anything else anyone wants to say? Questions? How much of your bankroll do you bet on a game, Rod? How do you
For me, I bet $100. And then depends. I'll raise it up if I really like a game, depending on. You have a bigger bet game, then I'll put up to 5 times that onto one game.
How about you, Brian? You have a percentage system that you use? What's your betting system for money management?
200 per game, but I did lose like 2,000 on the Bucks on one of these games. So I did have a game where I went crazy on the Bucks and lost. That's rare that I go up that high. I got hurt on that one. That was early on. I forget. I think it was the Nets. Yeah.
I think it was the Nets.
Yeah, I think it was the Nets. Normally 200.
I think it was the Nets that kicked your butt. Yeah,
it was the Nets.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, I'll go big. I think the Twins got me too earlier. That was like $1,000 plus injuries.
No Scott Foster tonight.
No Scott Foster tonight.
All right. Well, that about wraps it up then. It's exciting.
And tomorrow should be interesting too. We only have baseball.
Talk to Ruffalo. See if we can. What are we gonna call these guys? Tres Amigos.
I like R&R.
I like BRR. Burr.
That sounds like Burr.
Frosty Picks.
Canadian Crushers. The Canadian Line Crushers.
Definitely ain't Burr here. It's we're on a heat wave. We've 2 weeks over 30 for the next 2 weeks. Sun, and more sun.
Very humid.
Nah, it's dry here.
85%.
Not good. Oh, yuck. You can keep that.
Right downstairs in my basement, I got a project I'm working on. That's my job for today. Got the shop vac out.
You built it out?
It was nice getting to do a play today because I missed it for just 2 days.
All right. Thanks everyone for joining us. Try and act more professional tomorrow. We'll figure out our new show. Brian Rodden. I don't know. It's just an idea. Have a great day. Try and act more professional tomorrow. Be sure to follow me on Twitter. Check out our TikTok.